Welcome to another awesome edition of Comet Algebra. This video is for Algebra 1, Chapter 4, Section 1, Inequalities. An inequality is a math sentence stating that two expressions are not always equal. They could be greater or less, or greater than and equal to, less than or equal to, all those different inequalities. So this table goes through the symbols that we use for inequalities and then their meaning, or the words. So this first one, of course, is the less than symbol, which means less than is not as much as, it is not greater or equal to. And please notice those symbols right here. When they're not greater than or equal to, or not less than or equal to, it's just a slash through it. The second symbol is greater than. It means it exceeds, it is more than, and it is not less than or equal. This symbol, an equal sign with a slash through it, means is not equal, and it means that it is greater or less than that number because it's not equal to that number. This symbol means less than or equal to, which also can be stated is at most or does not exceed. And if something is less than or equal, that means it's not greater than. The last symbol on this table is greater than or equal to, which means it is at least that value, and it is not less than. So let's use what we learned on that table and write another inequality that's equivalent to the one that we're given. If x is not less than 7, then x must be greater than or equal to 7. You know, if you do not have less than $7, you must have $7 or more. Sometimes money can help us clarify inequalities. If x is not greater than or equal to 4, then it would have to be less than or equal to 4. If you don't have more than $4, you must have $4 or less, is another way to say that. If y is not greater than or equal to -2, then y has to be less than -2. In this next part, we're asked to determine whether 3 is a solution. Well, to find out, you plug it in and see if it makes the inequality true. So here we have 3 times 3 is 9. Is this less than 7? 9 minus 2 is 7. So is it true to say that 7 is less than 7? And no, that's not true. So 3 is not a solution for that inequality. Let's try 3 for the second inequality. 3 times 3 is 9. And this is saying that 9 is not greater than or equal to 12. And if that confuses you, if 9 is not greater than 12, then it's saying 9 must be less than or equal to 12. And yes, indeed, that is true. So 3 is a solution for that inequality. We also need to review graphing inequalities on a number line. And I would just like to remind you here, when you have less than or greater than, we use the open circle on the number line, indicating that the number we're talking about is not included in the answer. When you have less than or equal, or greater than or equal, we use a closed circle on graphing, because that indicates that the number we're talking about is included in the answers. So let's graph number 6 on a number line here. And it's stating that y is less than 7. So since it's less than 7, it does not include 7. I'm going to put an open circle on the 7. And less than is going in the smaller direction. So it's all the numbers moving to the left of 7. Number 7 is asking us to graph y is greater than or equal to -2. Since we have a greater than or equal to sign, we need to put a closed circle on the -2 because that indicates it is included in this greater than or equal to, and greater than are all the values moving to the right of -2. And now graphing number 8, it's asking us to graph x is not equal to 0. Well, if the value is not equal to 0, I can't include that on the graph, so I'm definitely going to need an open circle. But now how do I indicate everything else? Because x can be anything as long as it's not 0. Well, my arrow would have to then go this way. All these numbers are not 0. And the arrow would also have to go this way. All those numbers are not 0. All right, so now you know everything you need to for section 1, so have fun with those inequalities.